welcome to these moments that we have together. I hope that you can feel within your physical self, your emotional self, your mental self, what a true honor it is that you set aside time and just show up for you. You know, I often talk about how the reminder goes off, or the alarm, or whatever it is in your structure of your life that reminds you to meditate. But you know, we always have a choice. We have a choice to respond and just stay busy with what we're doing, or we have a choice to respond and say, you know what, this is my time. So just honor that. Just be so very proud of yourself for making this a priority. And so as we're settling in, you in your space and me in mine, I would invite you to go ahead and close your eyes. And we're going to spend just these few minutes that we have tonight as part of a bigger picture over the next few times that we're together. There is a lot going on energetically out in nature, seasonally. There's a lot of shifts. There's a lot of things happening. And so I want us just to recognize what's going on around us, and then spend these moments that we have really preparing for this shift that's coming in our seasons. It's coming in our world. So let's just first start with a little breath, just a slow, deep breath in, and a slow, full breath out. And a slow, deep breath in, and a slow, full breath out. And as you're breathing in at that really slow, relaxed pace, just notice, I hope that it does for you the way that it does for me, how quickly everything just settles. It's not perfect. It's not without distractions. But there is something incredibly powerful about slow, intentional inhales and exhales. So you just continue your rhythm, nice and slow. And I'll lead you through these next few minutes. And then as I grow quiet, just stay connected to the breath. Let it be your anchor to this moment. This moment that not only are we sharing together, but this moment that you have designated for you. And so as I mentioned, there is a lot going on in nature right now. A lot on the calendar. We've grumbled a bit over the last 48 hours about losing an hour of sleep. But then somewhere around dinner time, we look out and we realize the sun is still up, and the grumbling turns to a little bit of lightness of spirit. But there's still a shift in our body. It disturbs our circadian rhythm. And we have to just recognize that. Be mindful of it. And then last night was the half moon. This day in that 29-day lunar cycle of balance between light and dark. And again, there's a connection between us and the pull of the lunar cycle. But then I'd like for us to begin to look ahead. And that's what I really want these moments tonight to prepare us for. Just to prepare this idea of on Tuesday of next week, not only will there be a new moon, meaning no light showing from the moon's surface, but it is the day of the spring equinox. This incredible equinox idea happens twice in our 12 months, once in the fall and once in the spring. It is a day where there is full balance between the hours of light and the hours of dark. And you have to just kind of sit for a second and think what an incredible thing that is. That within the sunrise and the sunset time, there's this beautiful 12-hour balance. And we get to be a part of that. But the spring equinox represents something else for us. It's not a coincidence that we have this concept of spring cleaning in our culture, in our world. Because that is what this time of year signifies. We go into the yard, we rake up all the dead leaves, we pull up the dead parts of the grass to prepare things to grow. We clean out the closets and move the cold weather clothes to the back and bring the warmer weather clothes to the front. we begin to find this kind of purging and making the house feel fresh and alive after the cold darkness of winter. But just like nature informs the patterns of our life, that concept of spring cleaning on the spring equinox time does as well. And so I'd like for today and these next couple of times we have together leading up to the equinox to give us a chance just to think and reflect on this spring cleaning idea within our lives. Not so much about what's in the closet or in the flower bed or in the yard, but what's inside of us. So let's just go back to the breath just a few more times, and then I'm going to ask us each some questions to kind of begin to prepare our hearts for the clearing and the cleansing of what springtime brings. So again, just a nice, slow, deep breath in, and a slow, full breath out. And a nice, slow, deep breath in, and a slow, full breath out. And oftentimes I will pose questions to us, and I don't expect us to answer them in the moment. I want us just to feel the power of having asked the question. And as I pause after each one, there may be things that come up in each of our minds, and that'll be a pattern that we can notice toward an answer or toward a reflection. But there's also patterns that'll pop up that'll be distracting to what the question is asking us. So don't hang on to ideas that come into your mind, just notice. And over the course of these next few days, we'll notice a bit more each time. So I have a few questions, and I'm asking them to me as much as I'm asking them to you. Questions that I think can help prepare us for what this springtime arrival really can mean. Not just in our yards and in our homes, but in this vessel of us. So the first question is simple, but it's big. And it asks, who am I? Who am I? As the dark and the cold of winter starts to become the past and behind us, just asking the question, who am I? And then the second question, what do I want? What do I want? And in our world, if we ask that question, people will come up with a laundry list of things and wishes, and that's not what we're asking here. But we know through our meditation practice that that question is much bigger and much deeper. What do I want? And then the third question, what is in the way of me discovering my heart's desire and finding my true path? What is in the way of me finding my heart's desire and finding my true path? And then finally, in preparation for this spring equinox, am I ready and am I willing to cleanse my heart, my mind, my space from the things and the people and the emotions and the memories that no longer serve my purpose? I'm going to ask that one again, because we want to just jump in and say yes, but this is a really big one. There's a lot of reflection and soul searching that goes on within it, and there's a lot of commitment that's needed behind it. But for today, we're just asking the question, am I ready and willing to cleanse my heart and my mind and my space from the things and the people and the emotions and the memories that no longer serve my purpose. We are a collecting species. For some of us, it's a collection of physical things. For some, we collect relationships. We surround ourselves with more and more and more people, whether they're good for us or not. For some of us, we collect busyness. And the more full that our schedule is, we think the more full our life is. Some of us collect the baggage of our memories and our emotions. And there are some memories and there are some emotions that are good and healthy and necessary. But there's some that have already served their purpose, and it's time that we let them go, so that we can begin to answer that second question of what do we want? And then we'll along the way discover who we are. So let's just sit with this idea of asking who we are, what we want, what are the things in the way of us finding that heart's desire, and how ready and willing are we to begin the process of cleansing and letting go. And again, it's not about the answers. You're going to notice some things are going to pop up, faces or situations or images. Don't cling to those. Just pay attention and notice what they are. And then as we continue to ask the questions in the coming days, see which patterns stick and which really were just distractions. And so for the next couple of minutes, we're just going to take long, slow breaths in and full breaths out, and let the power of the questions just sit in the space that we're sharing together. Just continue to breathe, resting in the space where you are. And as those questions just continue to hang, continue to resonate with us a bit. Don't allow yourself to get frustrated that the answers are not coming quickly. It's not a matter of a race. It's not a matter of checking a box. It's just a matter of being open and willing to ask the questions. And so again, we're going to just have this as a part of these next few days leading up to that beautiful Tuesday, that day of equality. Equinox actually means in Latin half night. And the only way to have a half night is to have a half day alongside it. This beautiful representation of equal parts from sunrise to sunset. And so as we get ready to close our time, I'd like us to have one more moment to create a reset for all of us. And one of the best ways to do that is with the most basic sound that we have of all sounds, and that is the vibration of the mantra Om. It is the sound, the vibration from which all the other vibrations come, but it also brings us back to a place of beginning, a place that we can start to ask the questions about, where do I go from here? And what do I want? And what am I willing to do? So as you just sit, I will chant this one time for us collectively, and then we'll just allow the vibration just to kind of hang in the air as we close our time together. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. I wish you a night of rest and remaining open and willing and a little bit vulnerable to keep asking yourself the questions. Namaste.